This week we'll be learning Philippians chapter 2, verses 17 to 18. We'll be using the theme song from VeggieTales. At the end of last week's section, Paul mentioned that he runs and labors for the work of the gospel. In this week's verses, he's telling us that it's all worth it. He didn't do it in vain. He didn't do it for no reason. He said, even if I'm being poured out like a drink offering, even if he feels exhausted because his efforts are being poured out, that he is still glad and he rejoices. We should rejoice too, even when it's difficult. Even when spreading the gospel seems like it's too hard, too tough, and too exhausting for us. That's when we should still be thankful. We should rejoice that Christ is preached. We should be thankful that we are able to preach the gospel. And we should thank God for everyone who hears the message of His love. See you next time. Hey, looks like we've made it to halfway through Philippians chapter 2. Well, guess what? We won't be memorizing the second half of chapter 2, not because it's not good, but because we'd like to move on to chapter 3 soon. The rest of chapter 2 talks specifically about two different guys who are helping Paul. Their names are Timothy and Epaphroditus. They're both helpers for Paul, and he gives a couple of instructions to the Philippians church about those two helpers. I suggest you read that section, even if we won't be memorizing it for class. In the sections that we've gone over in chapter 2, we have four main directions from Paul. He tells us we should work together with others. We should be like Jesus, with humility and a servant's attitude. We should have a good attitude in everything we do without grumbling or arguing. And finally, he tells us that we should rejoice and be thankful that the gospel is spread and that we can be a part of it. See you in chapter 3.